Good morning and night, everyone. Welcome to the Overlook Show. I think this is the second episode. I'm your co-host, Sus. Of course, we have Nona as well, and a special guest today from Love AI, Dave. We are happy to have you, man. And good morning, guys. How are you doing?
Good morning. We're
Hey,
doing
what's up?
good.
What's up?
We're super excited to have Dave. Y'all, super smart guy. We're going to talk about a lot of things, but real quick, we're going to cover kind of where he's coming from, so you guys know what kind of questions to ask him in the chat if you want to do that. He got into crypto as an undergrad. He published lots of AI papers back in the day as a stats major. He worked for Morgan Stanley, did some investments, and actually looked at Ripple in 2018 and was head of SoftBank, uh, their SoftBank's Latin America fund, which is huge. So he's had a whole lot of work in the past in the market, in the industry, in tangential things. And he's a research fellow currently at Harvard, where he runs hackathons and research papers. So super excited to have somebody that's just like way out of our league on the podcast. Briefly, once again, we are Onic. We're traded by Onic. We are a rev share company on ETH. We're on the ERC20 standard. Our trading team takes total allocations. They trade it. When they make yield, they pay out yield to holders, and they sponsor the show. So the show wouldn't happen without the token. So, Dave, thanks for being here. Excited
Thanks
to
for having me.
be cracking. So, yeah, Dave, what was your entry into crypto as a whole? Like, what got you in here? What was the thing that did it for you? And you can't say RuneScape because everybody says RuneScape, and that's a cop out. So
No, my first dollars I made online were actually from RuneScape bot farms, but I didn't make any money from crypto from that. Yeah, so my undergrad, I entered college 2013. I mean, this is a story I tell friends, but yeah, so I wanted to buy just like I don't know, like some liquor as an undergrad, so I needed a fake ID. My brother, he was going to MIT at the time. I was going to school across the river at Harvard, so MIT super deep into Bitcoin. They got into Bitcoin super early. Yeah, I remember watching my brother on Silk Road getting me some fake ID. So back in the day, we didn't have these sort of easy access to Bitcoin. So instead of, I mean, today you can just go on basically any sort of exchange, even traditional fintech apps, and buy some Bitcoin. Back then, I still remember, I was in my brother's frat house, and he was sending a bank wire from Bank of America to some dude in China. So he sent the bank wire, and then you just like pray that you don't get rugged. So yeah, fortunately, didn't get rugged. I still remember that fake ID cost like a lot of Bitcoin. I think it was like 10 or like 50 Bitcoin or something like that during prices back then. So yeah, I mean, that was the first time I learned about Bitcoin, and then 2016. So that's when I first started like getting called like very deep into crypto. So my brother graduated 2015, and his graduating class, there was a Bitcoin whale gave everyone a whole Bitcoin. So I was like, damn, like I remember even a couple of years ago, basically like 10x from then. So
that's what.
I mean, short story is I made some good money in college doing like affiliate marketing, made some good money doing like, banking internships, like these sort of internships on Wall Street, and basically just put my entire, all the money I made in college into trading back in the day. So 2016, I only bought Bitcoin, and then 2017, those were like the ICO days. So yeah, back then I was just like pumping ICO, skipping class in the school basement. I mean, Bittrex just went bankrupt, but yeah, back then I was using Bittrex. So yeah, still think fondly of Bittrex and those sort of days. Definitely much easier to make money back then than today. I think yeah, but it's good times back then.
Dude, that's early. I was like late 2020 got in, so I'm still a baby, but that's awesome. It's good times. Did you
Man,
ever?
sorry,
Did you ever
but
off of?
sorry, no. Just
Go ahead.
one thing. He's an OG, man. He's really old. I just wondering, have you hold any Bitcoin from back in the days, like 2013, 14?
Don't tell us how
Well,
much. Just yes or no.
no, my problem was okay. The thing is, like, I guess I'm considered OG now because everyone around my cohort just like made ungodly amounts of money, and they're already retired, somewhere on the beach. Yeah, I mean, I was trading back in 2016, 2017. I rotated, a lot of my position, basically like most of my position, into these sort of alts, which, uh,
Hmm.
yeah, um,
Yeah,
those went quite a bit. So, yeah, learned a lot about risk management and whatnot. I mean, I still made money from back then, but I'm not I don't have a yacht on a beach like a lot of the other guys. Who sort of get that.
that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, cool, man. Well, can you tell us more about Love AI and what it's obviously what it's building, but like what do you aspire it to be? Because we could read about it on the website and have some things there.
For sure.
Yeah. How where do you see it going? Where do you want it to go? And how direct are you in the onboarding process of people to work there?
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, Love AI, I would say it mostly came out of passion. I would say. I mean, my undergrad degree, I did my degree in statistics, and um, yeah, I wrote a lot of papers on AI. I've been following AI and like data science and industrial world for quite a bit, and it really wasn't until like end of 2022 when these sort of like consumer AI applications, sort of like Gen AI boom, really started opening up a lot of doors and like a lot of possibilities that wasn't uh, really a thing back then. During like regression slash like classical machine learning days. And having been in crypto for quite a while, I saw quite a few clear trends that were going to happen, and I think we're already seeing these sort of things happening. So, clear trend number one on like why crypto and AI would definitely be a huge opportunity. I think one is bias and censorship. I mean, you were just seeing early days of like OpenAI censoring left and right and doing what they wanted with like those sort of answers. You saw guys like Google put out like Asian Nazis when you ask them to put like a picture of like Nazi or like a black like founding father when you ask it to generate a picture of an American founding father. So like that sort of bias and that sort of censorship of these sort of like centralized AI um,
Mm,
systems. I thought like that's going to increase in like a bomb here. So um,
mhm,
uh, I mean a lot of other things that you can't build on the decentralized side as well. But point being,
mhm,
I saw okay, like the world is definitely going to need like decentralized rails for this sort of stuff. I think AI is going to get exponentially a lot more powerful. And where I saw the biggest opportunity and frankly like the most exciting part of AI is actually like the consumer use case and like the actual application part. So
mhm,
started Love AI, raised a couple bucks from VCs like Parify, Murata, UOB, a couple other guys as well. And I would describe Love AI like this. So Love AI, it's scaling like the application level for AI applications. So no code platform, just very plain English or any language to be honest, but plain
mhm,
English. You describe, okay, I want this application to have these sort of functions, this sort of like real time data, this sort of capabilities, these sort of workflows, and based on that, our engine on the back end will construct together AI application for you. So we have
mhm,
very talented group of engineers. Our lead smart contract guy, he basically built out most of the DeFi applications on Starkware, and our AI guys, are they graduated from Berkeley, been in AI for quite a while. I haven't worked with any teams that have shipped as quickly as these guys do. So, super proud of the team that we have here. We just shipped our D1 of the product a couple weeks ago. So a
mhm,
couple weeks ago, we timed it with a hackathon we did at Harvard, just to
mhm.
put it out there and have people start hacking on it. Um, and then V2 of the product we're expecting to release in a couple weeks as well, with a lot more builder functionality, a lot more tools, a lot more um, improvements on the UX, and just overall
Mm.
like a lot more user friendly type of experience here.
Yeah, man. What would you say is the most overrated or not overrated? Sorry, what is the most overlooked or underrated part of Love AI? Whether that's something that's out now or something that you guys have been working on that you're excited to reveal. What's the biggest underrated thing that people don't know about or they haven't really thought of the way they should? What
Yeah,
would
I
you
would
be
say
mountains? Yeah.
Yeah, I would say one big things that one of the big things that our engineers have uh, um, spent a lot of time and kind of figured out. I can talk about this question from a perspective of like right now versus and also 6 months down the line where I see our product direction going. So right now, I think one of the big things that we offer is real time data. So we have API access to a ton of different sources. So if you want like web based searches, real time news, real time crypto prices.
Mm.
We can create you can create applications as a developer on top of here to leverage these sort of different real time data sources and different like APIs across the board, which compared to a lot of these other like classical like AI tools, those options are not the case, particularly on like the crypto functions. So, for example, like one of the use cases that we have is with Jumbo GPT. Jumbo
Mhm.
is like one of the largest deep in projects out there, and we basically powered their entire like AI stack on Jumbo GPT. Jumbo GPT, it can support real time data pulls of basically any token that's like very long tail. So even if it's like number like 500 on CoinMarketCap, you can ask it a
Mhm.
question. Okay, like what is this token? Like what's the current volume on this token? What is what's the 24-hour price action? What's the price of it? Like exactly 17 days ago. That sort of stuff is all possible. With our engine, and it is nice to see folks like Jumbo being able to build these sort of cool applications on top of our platform.
Hell yeah.
I would say it's 6 months from now, so I think this sort of stuff gets even more exciting because what our engineers have also figured out is AI to AI communication and AGI clusters. So what does that mean? As you, the builder, build more of these applications in our ecosystem, build more applications on top of our engine. These AI agents and these AI applications will eventually be able to talk to each other and leverage each other's functions, have payments, have incentives across the board with each other as well. So what does that
Mm.
mean? If you do permutation math, right? Just based on
Mm.
permutation math, the types of combinations that you can have in terms of like workflow complexity and um, uh, types of interaction between these sort of agents grows increasingly more complex, and therefore the types of interesting use cases that come out of this is uh, grows exponentially as well. So
Yeah.
we're super excited about that sort of stuff.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Um, Also, thanks for jumping on Halloween. I've got another question. What what is an important connection to make as far as partnerships or collaborations to like? I mean, you've clearly built out Love AI pretty well. How does that take place with a company that is so like product first? Like, I mean, the whole thing is whether or not the product works well, and it does, and it will. But how have like especially coming from a lot of experience in the crypto like Web3 world as well, like how do y'all do partnerships? How do y'all roll those out? What's the need for those, and do you really need those, or do you just need to make your app the best dang app there is?
Yeah, I think about product in two dimensions. So dimension one is called like an infrastructure type partnership. So and then dimension two is more like closer to the user and more on the application side. So I'll talk about one first. So on the infrastructure side, for us, like we're almost entirely focused on the application layer within the value chain of decentralized AI. But the thing is,
Mm.
you don't have decentralized AI unless you make sure that the full stack end to end and full cooking end to end is on decentralized rails, and there's as little or as few points of potential censorship or failure points
Mm.
for some sort of centralized entity to inject their sort of opinion there. So what does that
Mm.
mean for us? We do partnerships with different players on the data side, the inference side, and the GPU side. So on the
Mm.
GPU side, we announced a partnership a couple weeks ago with Netmind. So Netmind is one of the largest GPU decentralized compute GPU players. Talking to a couple of folks there as well. So I would expect a couple other announcements there. On the data side, we're going to announce something quite soon with one of the largest data integrity players out there, and I think that's going to be a huge addition. And capability to make sure that users anywhere can build anything that they want. And then talking about second prompt on the user side, right? So eventually, we're basically a platform. I mean, we'll develop some apps ourselves, but effectively we're a platform. And big goal for us is to find like great developers who. I mean, you don't even have to be a developer. Like, you don't have to know how to code. You just have to be able to have great AI ideas. So we want to find those sort of people with like great AI ideas, and then also call it like these sort of ecosystems that are close to the user who can potentially like find our products useful. So case in point here is like our partnership with Jamba that I mentioned earlier. They have something like 2 million wallets out there, and then over 600,000 of their physical phones shipped around the world. So for us, that means great distribution for us as a platform, and then for their users, they get exposure into new AI use cases and new AI products that otherwise wouldn't have been possible without our platform.
Awesome, man. Awesome. How does it feel to have sorry, Zeus, go ahead.
Sorry, just a reminder for the guys who's watching. Guys, you can check the website of LoveAI. We will deep dive the website in a bit later, okay? So you can scan the QR code if you have your phone available, or you can just click the link on the chat. It will be posted in the chat if you're in YouTube. I'll post it as well in X chat. Also, please follow LoveAI on X and Dave as well on X. So all the links that you need, it's here. Very interesting product, to be honest. I myself are very interested in AI. I think all near protocol people are. So we will deep dive on it later. Go ahead. No, sorry. I just have to do some reminders here.
No worries. I was gonna say, how does it feel to have access consistently to some of the best, like, in theory, some of the best, like, new young minds in blockchain, with like Harvard and all that stuff? How does that people like meet up weekly with them and all that stuff?
I mean, it is definitely refreshing. I mean, I think a lot of the guys I meet are a lot smarter than I was, when I was their age. So I do find it quite inspiring, how smart a lot of these guys are. But yeah, I mean, people out there are definitely hustlers. I think like they're hardworking, and it is inspiring hearing new ideas coming from these sort of folks.
Oh yeah. If somebody was going to just set you up for an absolute home run about LoveAI, what would they ask you, Dave? If you were just going to hit an absolute home run, what's like the perfect softball there? So,
sorry, I didn't follow the question.
Yeah, no worries.
Not a baseball guy.
Okay, yeah. So if you're just gonna have like a perfect answer to something, what's my like layup question for you? Just take it, just go, and you're like, let's go.
I don't know. I mean, I think like I try to tell the product how it is. I mean, I try to be like as upfront as possible. I think for me, like I try to just deliver exactly how it is and tell how it is, and if you find it cool, like I think that's awesome. I mean, I'm personally biased. I do think we're going to build like some pretty incredible things, but you'll definitely see it on our Twitter as
yeah. Cool. What do you think about the AI equities earnings this week, and how do you think having actual like AI crypto funds for TradFi will be like? So when Grayscale drops their like mixed bag AI like ETF that has like near and stuff in there, how do you think the markets will react to AI plays that are like crypto narratives once there's ETFs for them? And what do you think of AI earnings this week as well in TradFi?
Yeah, for sure. So on the TradFi world, I mean, AI and crypto, we're only just getting started. I feel like it hasn't really penetrated. I have a lot of friends at Citadel, a lot of friends at some of the top hedge funds out there. I feel like this crypto and AI narrative still hasn't fully penetrated these sort of guys. I mean, even in the space, we're only just getting started. Just even going like CoinMarketCap, there's really only like maybe like 10, 10 or so, 10,
Sub,
15 or so that are
or sub 10, because there's a bunch of stuff that's like AI, but doesn't mean jack squat. Or like
Yeah.
3 or 4 of them are bundled into one. They're gonna make a new token. It's like you haven't actually built a product yet, so like let us know when you do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, I mean, we're still like very early days, which for people on this chat, I think that's obviously amazing opportunity if you can get very smart about this sort of stuff, because there's a lot of domain expertise that you need to both understand the crypto side and the AI side, and not many people have that. So if you can get very smart on this sort of niche, I think there's going to be a lot of riches to be had for specializing here. Specifically on kind of like what's happening on like traditional AI side, AI world, and how a lot of these call it like traditional AI investors are thinking about it. Just like talking to a lot of contacts that I have on both the hedge fund side, private equity side, and uh, even like non crypto VC side. I would say this. So I mean, if you start from the top, from like public equities, right? On direct, well, I'll answer your question directly. So those two sort of opportunities, like the ETF type opportunities, and then single name stock picks. So I would say the ETF game is a completely different game. I think ETF game is just all about like getting as much assets as possible, and they're just going to ship as many ETFs as they can. That makes sense. And I think the fact that we still haven't shipped like a Solana ETF or the fact that we haven't shipped even like a Solana ETF or barely touched like Ethereum ETFs.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Well, there just hasn't been enough demand on traditional finance investors on that side. So if you just look at how weak ETH ETF has been, I think like it's going to be a hard to make a pitch for names that are even below Solana. I think like Solana is basically like appetite right now is pretty much like as low as it would get. I mean, people. This is not like back in the day. Like I opened with like my story back then buying Bitcoin with like bank wire on Bank of America. I mean, I think today is like not exactly the same type of scenario. I think like these days, if you are genuinely interested in crypto, it's not that hard to figure out Coinbase and just buy like Solana or Near or like any one of these tokens really. So I think it's I think the environment for ETFs is going to be tough. So that's my thoughts on your question directly there.
I was going to say, and how would they develop an appetite for those things when they have things like kingmakers like NVIDIA and Palantir and all that stuff that are already making big leaps and strides, even if it's different applications of AI. It's like, hey, they have a working product, earnings are there, all that stuff. So,
So I would describe it like this. I think like right now, at least on the public equity side, you can still get like okay valuations on the mega cap tech names. So like NVIDIA still trades like reasonable in terms of like price to earnings. Meta's still okay, like Microsoft's still okay, like Google's still okay. Some of the like longer tail like pure AI names are traded fairly a lot more rich, especially on as you go into like the private round. So a lot of the private rounds are getting raised at call it like 40x to like 50x revenues, which once they go IPO, that's going to be compressed to maybe like 10 to 20, 10 to 30x, depending on market environment. But point being, private rounds are still getting raised quite richly. I do hear from a lot of my investor friends that a lot of these deals are actually done, out of FOMO. So funds want. I'll put it this way: you can't be a fund manager and like miss out. Well, a lot of these like fund managers on traditional non-crypto side, they think like this. So like LP, their investors ask them, hey, like why aren't you investing in AI? Like if you miss out on AI and there are a couple home runs out there and you didn't invest like have any bets here on AI, and like clearly AI is going to be like the next big thing, then them as a manager, they're not going to get more funds on subsequent fund. So a lot of like the VC and like private equity and like growth equity guys are a little bit like aping into these sort of deals.
Aping. Fund managers are aping. Wow.
Yeah, general consensus there. But on the liquid side, so like hedge funds are typically a lot more like disciplined. It's a bit of a different game. So I think if you look at some of the big tech names, I think that's where you would probably find. I mean, if you're like an individual investor, I think that's where you'd probably find like a lot more of the exciting opportunities if you're not going on like the crypto and AI route.
Just going back to what Nono and what you guys talked about on Nono mentioned that there isn't much people are building a real product AI in Web3 yet. So we are very early to it, I think, in terms of like Web3 adoption. But you guys have created something very interesting, which is Love AI, right? So you basically can create and deploy an AI dApps, right? And then later on you can monetize it. So can you just walk us through, like, for normal people or Web3 people or someone who want to, let's say, he have an idea, AI idea, is how Love AI can help them to create or make this idea come true. I'm gonna share with you guys also the website while he's explaining, so you can just have an idea how it's look like.
Yeah, for sure. So we try to make it as simple as possible. So once you go into the app creation process, it's similar to the other chatbot features. So once you click create, so I guess if you want to do like a live product demo here, maybe you can try typing like, please create for me a crypto trading assistant that pulls real-time crypto data and information about different projects. This, and then I mean, being as specific as possible is great. So
okay, wait, give me a second. Okay, my grammar is bad, so I'm just copy pasting now. So please create for me a crypto trading assistant that pull data,
pulls
Real-time.
live real-time data,
real time data. Okay.
and volume metrics.
Uh-huh.
METRICS.
MTI what?
Metrics. Here, I'll type it here.
Matrix. Okay.
Metrics.
Man, I shouldn't be doing this one. No, you should be
Yeah,
writing.
I hear
But
you. I hear you. I
Matrix.
didn't mean to switch
Okay.
up there,
You have to switch up. Well,
I mean,
anyway.
you can just delete Matrix.
Okay.
Let's see what it pulls out. Typically, it's a lot better if you're as specific as possible. But let's see if this works. Just like one sentence.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
guys. I have reason. Okay, my grammar is not that good. I blame Nono for it. He put me in the spot, but whatever. Let's
My
move
bad.
on.
My bad.
Yeah, all good, man. Okay, so go to the app.
If you go to my AI dApps on the left hand side,
Uh,
third,
yeah.
my AI dApps. Click try now. And try typing at the bottom. What is the current price of? I don't know, near.
Okay.
Like $sign near.
This is sick.
This is pretty cool.
After he finishes his, I want to screen share and do something as well, and do a really specific one. That's cool.
Wow. Okay, my bags is hurting. Okay, this is actually really cool. So basically,
Is that accurate? $4.15. Let me check.
I think it is. It should be.
Let's see.
It is
That's
accurate.
correct.
Yeah.
Nice,
So
nice. Let's go.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so that's one of the things that you guys can actually do, right? You can just be creative as much as possible, and the AI will create the dApp for you.
Exactly. So this is just one example that shows like real time trading assistant. one thing I was working with at Harvard as well is maybe this is relevant because the election is this coming Tuesday. But I was working with one of my professors out there to basically have like election integrity AI bots for like survey methodology. So that's another use case there.
Okay, so
That is awesome.
after you
Important.
walk me through the monetization part where people can create and then they can monetize it, right?
Yeah, for sure. So we will be releasing this on either V2 or V3 of this. But I mean, we do have like metrics on the back end on like how popular the app is, but we'll have more details in the future. Basically, how it'll work is based on how popular your app is, you will get
Okay, I
paid
ran
in
out of current limit.
love tokens.
Okay, so there is a token in the roadmap, right?
Yeah, soon. So we want to get the token out so that we can incentivize everyone to build apps on top of here. So eventually, there's going to be a lot of velocity of the love token throughout the entire ecosystem, and then from there, the types of things that we can do from a product perspective and from like a community perspective becomes quite interesting as well.
Can the token have a use case in the DApp, in the LoveAI DApp? Meaning, like, rather than having credit with the USDT, for example, or stable, you can just use your Love token to refill.
That's the idea. So that's the idea. So that's one use case there. So for you to refill, call it like some of your compute credits, you can use Love token to do that. And then I think where the use case becomes even more interesting is, as I mentioned before, right? Eventually, once we get critical mass of these sort of AI agents on the platform and the agents can interact with each other, right? You're going to have payment mechanisms to create these sort of incentives between the different agents, right? So as the velocity of payments becomes quite high across like the entire ecosystem, that in itself will be a token sink, just like a lot of these other layer ones. Difference versus a lot. We're not building a layer 1 or layer 2, just to be clear, but that's a big appeal of that sort of style of tokenomics is that you're going to have a lot of velocity of money, and as a result of velocity of money through the entire ecosystem, you naturally create these sort of token sinks.
Okay. Just for you guys who's gonna use the website, you can just log in with your email or Solana and Aptos, I believe. But if you log in with your Phantom, then you are just ready to go. It's very simple, very easy. You just put your email, wallet address here, and avatar, and done. You just go to the create page, which is you guys simplified it. I really like how simple it is, the site, and people in the chat are saying that it's pretty simple. And for the prices you guys are asking, I mean, this is guys really cheap. If you are thinking to build an entire AI agent, okay, for like 9 USDC or 19 USDC, and like it's pretty cheap, I mean, it's gonna cost you way more if you wanna get a dev to build it for you. But again, guys, if you wanna try the site for yourself, you can go to the link here, or you can scan the QR code. Try it out, sign up for it, and just play around, be creative. One thing is, you guys, do you have any plan to like support other chains? Is it like on Solana right now specifically, or are you guys gonna go like super multi-chain, every chain? Can for example, I don't know how the limits of this can go. I mean, can you like, for example, create the agent and deploy it on chain, for example, in like near protocol?
Yeah, for sure. So I'll take a step back real quick. So just for the audience here, we're in the process of upgrading the UX of this of the app page. So the user flow is going to be a lot simpler and a lot more intuitive. And then we're also adding a lot more features. So for example, like Telegram hooks and like well, I don't want to say too much of the roadmap yet, but we're gonna put in like Telegram hooks and a lot of cool features. So yeah, stay tuned in a couple weeks. What you see here is just the start. So I think you'll be pleasantly surprised once we release V2 of the product. So
it'll be huge.
Huge. Um, so that's yeah, that's one. And then on your um, on your question of multi-chain, so I think a lot to do with the current chains that we have. I think Solana especially has quite a bit of, especially
Mm.
um, on the infrastructure side. So if
Yeah.
you look at the landscape of the different like GPU players, the data players, etc., a lot of those guys are currently building on Solana. So naturally, I think like a lot for us to do on the Solana ecosystem first. Not to say we won't work with like other chains if there is the right opportunity, but um, yeah, I think a lot for us to do on Solana
Mm.
first.
I mean, from business model. Sorry, no, I know you want to show up, but from a business perspective, I understand why Solana. I mean, they have pretty much a good liquidity in there as well, for users to like try and experiment with things. But I love to see you guys expanding to other chain later on, when things get when you guys starting. But uh, one thing, guys, I want to mention is, maybe we can talk about this one after Nono finish, is the thread you guys write. So basically, guys, this is a killer thread. This is like, it's gonna explain everything to you. So
Mm.
go ahead and check it out. It's on also Love AI Twitter as well. But I visualize it is like, uh, later on, maybe when the token is out, you can like buy the token on a specific chain you guys provided liquidity on, or you guys want to, and then deposit it in the dApp itself, and then people with across all the chains can have access or interact with other chains. So basically, it's gonna make it, I think, easier once they deposit their fund there, and then they can just connect their near wallet. And since the use case of the tokens is gonna be built in the dApp itself, so you guys won't have to like create different liquidity pools in each chain and stuff like this. Go ahead, no.
Yeah, I
Show
was
us
just
what
gonna
you
say
got, man.
that you're good. That's great, man. That's great. I was gonna say, like I just said, like, hey, with the agent, I said, create me a meme coin trading strategist that's gonna help me, um, like swing trade meme coins such as Black Dragon on the Near protocol and give me like good take profit points so I can like exit and stack as much stables as possible. And so it's like, hey, give me the input from the actual website. So I gave the website and it's like, hey, when the RSI is like below this, below that, it's oversold, yada yada, or like overly expensive and all this stuff. It's pretty sick. It's pretty sick. So it's giving you like a complete strategy of how to swing trade stuff back and forth. It's pretty solid. So big
Awesome.
fan. Well done, sir.
It,
Well done.
it's actually very impressive. I mean, he's even saying that they're gonna update the UI UX and it's gonna be even more fluid. I mean, for me now, it's pretty fluid. So I'm really excited to see what you guys can bring later on.
Yeah.
One thing is how let me find the right English term for it. How complicated uh, the it can like how complicated it can get for the AI to build you. Like if you want to build something very
Mm.
complicated, something like it's not as easy as pulling data or something, like let's say requires a lot of coding and stuff like this. Can the AI build it for you, the Live AI?
Mm.
Yeah. Well, I'm confident. If there's something that like a big demand for some sort of types of features or some sort of utility, I think
Mm.
uh, I'm pretty confident we'd be able to ship that. I mean, our our dev team is just totally cracked. So I think like if it's something that our community demands, like we will get it out and we will make sure that that's something that the platform can deliver.
Mm.
But yeah, like we have a bunch of APIs that support all sorts of different types of use cases. So obviously this is like a crypto platform, so we make
Mhm.
sure to have as robust as possible source of APIs for crypto-based data or like crypto-based utility or like anything that people need to build like a crypto-based DApp. But
Mm.
even beyond that, and I think like something that is quite powerful for us is real-time web search and real-time data. So for example, like news search. So like if Near pumped today and you don't know why, you can ask them there like, hey, like, why did can you do
Comb
like a
things and
yeah,
aggregate
can
things.
you find some news on this and like tell me why this actually pumped. So
Huh.
as a uh, as we integrate like more news sources. So for example, like XAI literally last week just launched their API. So that could be like some like a tool that
Integrate with you.
people who build on top of us that can leverage on the back end. So for example, like why did near pump today, and instead of searching like the web, now we have web search plus like news search plus Twitter search. These
Yeah.
sort of things are going to be increasingly compounded in terms of capabilities.
Mm.
Sorry, but okay. I have a question here. We I work at a company called Nico, and one of the co-founder, Delir, built an agent, and the way he built it and coded it, he used Claude, I think, and ChatGPT for coding,
Mhm.
and takes a lot of time to get the codes and like put it manually and stuff like this. So, for Love AI, you actually can you like pull some sort of like coding, or does it do it all for you by itself? Can you modify on the agent you built? Like, let's say for example, I built an agent and I just want to modify in the coding of it, like a more advanced future for devs to play around with
Mhm.
with what they build and make it more advanced.
Yeah, maybe in the future we'll be able to support that at some point in
Mm.
our roadmap. I think, in my opinion, the biggest opportunity, at least on the AI side, is this. A lot of people, I'm sure, like anyone with like a job or like anyone, with a computer has ideas, or anyone who's actually interfaced with like AI has ideas of like, hey, I want like this sort of feature that this doesn't exactly support, or I want that sort of feature, or like this sort of use case that I can't exactly find perfectly within this library of existing AI applications. And
Mm.
with us, I think like, okay, this is actually a solution. So I think this is the biggest market of types of individuals out there. And
Mm.
to be honest, like uh, even a lot of coders who
Mm.
know, call it like, I don't know, like Python or like Java or something like that, don't necessarily know how to code in AI either. So I think
Mm.
this will solve the problems for like the majority of people, and then from there, we can go more niche into people who actually can read the code, can actually understand the code, and modify the code themselves.
Mhm. I've got 3 questions for you. Some hard and fast
Yeah.
questions. Ready? Number one. I saw the other day. I think it was Kobe. I saw the other day somebody put both Bitcoin and ETH are only $2,000 away from all-time highs. Like each of
Mhm.
them is. And I was trying to explain to my friend that it's like a joke. It's like a roast. Uh, is ETH like super 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 undervalued? Is everything going to be built on top of it, like in one way, shape, or form? Because there's so much VC money and there's so much like infrastructure built through it. Or can we really just do away with it and just have Bitcoin as digital gold and have things like Solana and other stuff? Does Ethereum, is it going to have to stay around? Like, because it's, some people think it's extremely undervalued. What do you think?
I mean, hard to say. I mean, I think like uh, uh, so my mental model, and it's not financial advice, but like my mental model
Yeah,
is users either go towards store value, or users go towards call it
easier for you.
um, like actually using blockchain as like a form of payment, payment network, or like actually using blockchain
Mm,
for velocity purposes, right?
mm,
Um, and then the problem with Ethereum right now, well, there's a couple problems with Ethereum, but problem number one is this straddling both of those, right? So
yeah,
it wants to be a store of value, it wants to also be like
ETH
used
is
for
money.
actual like it wants to be store value, but it also wants to at the same time be used for applications. And I think
Yeah,
uh,
if
ETH
he
will
made up
probably
his
have
mind
to
to be
choose
better.
like choose one of the two, unless
Yeah,
something like catastrophic happens, like some super long tail catastrophic event happens with like one of these like high throughput chains. I think um, users these days are probably going to flock towards something that's more on either one of the two extremes.
mm,
Um, Yeah, like we as an industry theoretically care a lot about these principles of like decentralization and whatever on the blockchain, but
But
I think like
the
the
fund that
average.
you manage doesn't care. Like we care because it's cool and it should be and it's altruistic. But like when you're managing people's money, the money doesn't care. It just goes where the price goes. Like so, decentralization, right? It's cool and it's like yeah, we want that, but like doesn't make money for investors, right?
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, hard to say. Um,
Yeah,
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 I will say like I am bullish on Solana partially because of uh, um, what they're doing with like a lot of these like high frequency traders and like high frequency funds. So with a Fire Dancer, basically effectively what they're doing is they're plugging into their system into these sort of like HFTs and like these professional like market makers. What does that mean in terms of price? That means Solana is going to be de facto like the biggest liquidity venue out of
yeah.
all different blockchains. So
You said
by default,
HFT.
yeah, like the high frequency trading funds.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah, so
that is us. It's funny. We're actually on Ethereum, but we are an HFT straight up.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not on that side, but I have heard,
Yeah.
these sort of like um, big, like very big prop trading
Yeah.
firms and like very big like crypto hedge funds. They're basically going to plug directly into this sort of stuff, which
Mhm.
yeah, liquidity there would be orders of magnitude bigger.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Um, awesome. Thank you for that answer. Question number 2, hard and fast. Prediction markets, aka gambling. What do you think? How do you think that's going to be helpful? This I'm not trying to get you to put on a tinfoil hat on a live stream. I promise you. Okay, but how are prediction markets going to be useful when actually determining where the line is currently? I'm specifically talking about a thing that happens in like a week, and at the end of the day, when like people need to get their money if they bet one way or the other, how is that going to help um, the deciding factors on things that swing nations? And what do you think about not that Robinhood it's like truly a TradFi application because they've always kind of been a little different, but like now Robinhood, like if you just go into the app, it's not even you don't have to look for prediction market stuff. It is thrown at you right as you go into like a retirement account. It's like, hey, bet on this. Boom, there you go. Do you think we're gonna see like a rise and fall of all these prediction markets, or do you think that's just going to be another way for a lot of companies to extract more value? And what do you think they are, or do you think they're useful? Do you think they're harmful?
Yeah. So I think funny enough, I actually wrote my thesis on uh, machine learning methods in pre-election polling. So yeah, it's
Sweet.
a little bit related to this, but anyways, I think like betting markets, like these sort of betting markets, like Polymarket, etc. I think they are incredibly useful in terms of like determining where the actual line is. There is a lot of buys and polls, and there is a lot of funny stuff you can't play around with polls. I think like Polymarket and I mean Polymarket is the biggest one, but there still isn't enough liquidity to absorb like true interest there. And generally speaking, like if you're on chain, you're probably more like leaning right. So I would bet like these sort of platforms like Kalshi and like these platforms like Polymarket probably are uh, more biased right than left.
Mm,
I would also say like it's keep in mind like I think most people think like these are like binary outcomes on these sort of trading platforms. They're really not. Well, they wind up being like binary outcomes, but um,
mm,
they function like perps. So
mm.
what that means is like I actually think right now it might actually be a decent time to put in some Kamala bets. I think Trump's going to win the election, but I think what's going to happen. This is like a theoretical trade as well, and this is like a trade that I was actually thinking about putting.
November
Is
surprise.
I think like Kamala, yes, rips a little bit, and then
And you
rips a little
some
bit in the election with like
yeah.
some good news, or like some like news coming out of the results, but maybe like Trump wins in the end, right? And
Yeah.
this is how like a lot of these like pro like whales are trading on certain platforms. And I would also
Huh.
say like one data point on like why on how there's like not enough liquidity here. So there was like one big whale who was putting in bets like yes Trump earlier last week, and he was buying Trump odds at he was just dumping in like a couple 100,000 clips, like $1 million clips into this. Like the market can't absorb that much. And he was literally buying like Trump yes at like 99.7 cents on the dollar, which is like retarded.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was basically incinerating money. Which point being, if the market can't handle this guy, then like it's still not liquid enough.
It's not. Yeah, it's not really where the line is, huh? Okay, interesting. Thank you for those answers. Those answers are great. Thank you for the specificity and not being hesitant to give a lean there. I respect that. I was trying to keep it as neutral as you wanted it to be, and you gave us an answer. Very cool. Secondary, or not secondarily, because this is my third question, hard and fast. How many times a week do you hit back and biceps, Mr. Forearms?
I injured my back. So I've been skipping a lot of leg days. I actually hit legs quite a bit, but yeah, I've been working out. I usually do 6 times a week, but I've been doing lower volume and higher intensity recently. So 4 times a week. I have been walking a lot, so I've been I've been shedding a lot of fat, just like walking 10 to 20,000 steps a day.
Nice, man. It's helping with the vascularity on the forearms. I actually come from the fitness world. Yeah, there you go. There it is. I studied exercise physiology in college, and
Hey, let's go.
let's go. And I've been in the fitness world for like 6 years, so I'm still a full-time like personal trainer and stuff. This is what I do for fun on the side. So
I mean, I'm not gonna flex any muscles here. It's just because I don't want to show how big I am. But yeah, sure, whatever.
that's awesome. Zeus, what do you
I'm
got
so
for me?
fat, man. Man, I'm so
I
fat.
just hogged the stage for like 3 somewhat good, somewhat bad questions.
Fun
so.
fact, actually, away from the topic. Fun fact: I'm still waiting for Nono to write me his what is it? Fitness
Workout.
plan for like a year. Guys, I'm not kidding. It have been a year. Nono told me I'm gonna write you a full fitness plan, man, with your food and everything. I was like, okay, no. 1 year, no, and counting, okay? But
Mhm.
anyway, guys, it's not a no. I'm just really lazy. I just sit in
Oh,
bed
it's a
and
meme
sleep a
at this point. Yeah.
lot.
For sure,
But
for sure.
anyway, guys, don't forget to follow Dave, man. It's really, we only have like 5 minutes left, guys, so I'll just scroll through reminders. Follow Dave on X as well. Follow Love AI on X as well. Website is here, and make sure to read the killer thread. I mean, pretty smart, Dave, to be honest. For like I think you are one of the smartest people we
I've
have
ever had.
interviewed, yeah,
Yeah.
so far. um I wish I can have as much understanding as that, but thank you very much for explanation, guys. If you have any question, leave it in the chat. There was one question, actually, I want to go back to it, but it's like way back.
I
Can it
think
generate pictures from user ideas? I think they were mentioning
yeah,
to
not
the Love AI chat
not
website.
yet, but that should be a pretty easy. Should be a pretty easy
Plug and play.
implementation. Basically, we just have to swap in and out a couple models, so it should be pretty easy for us to
Yeah.
generate pictures. Actually, so my profile picture that is on my Twitter is actually deepfake that I generated. So
I could actually tell. I could actually tell when he was like, "It's baller." I was like, "It is," but I can.
It's pretty good.
It is.
I
Pretty
like
good.
it. Yeah, it's
good.
pretty good. I wish
did.
I can have a good picture like this, to be honest. Every time I take a picture, I look so weird. My job is around camera. I have to sit in front of the camera, and I have to do videos, I have to do shorts, but every time I take video, I just look weird. I don't know why. When I take pictures, it just doesn't work. I mean, I'll give credit for Nono. He mentored me through how to, sit in front of the
Create
camera
content
and stuff
in the near
since
ecosystem.
before. What is it? No.
I was saying just create content in the near ecosystem, but Dave, can we give you what Trade Bionic is for like 30 seconds?
Yeah, of course.
Cool, sweet. So it's high frequency trading. It was a project that was decently successful on ETH in like 2023, and yeah, the team was just like, hey, we're not really trying to build this out anymore. So like another team bought it out. They've paid out 32 ETH, and and like or no 14 ETH in rev share so far. So here's the whole thing. We use flash bots, or our bots rather, to take out flash loans. And then there is a team, a trader team. We are actually tonight, because tonight is the last day of the month, we are going to be revealing what percentage that we are up on the month, and then once there's like, hey, we're up this much on the month, then out of the total pot, it's 40% is left off and sent to holders of those profits and all that stuff. So this was something that was a big thing in the past. We're revamping it. If you look at everything's down today, but like since like August when we started making this thing happen again, it's up like 4x, so it's pretty exciting. But yeah, man, that's Trade Bionic. That's the sponsor of the show. We got to mention it super quick, but it was a blast, an absolute blast having you on. And yeah, any questions for us? Any actionable points you have for us?
One Lambo.
Lambo
Exactly
soon.
right.
In the
Exactly
logo,
right.
I'd give shout out to the artist of Thread Bionic, man. He's pretty insane. I'm really in love with how he do the art. I think it's pretty nice. Out of the topic, but guys, it have been a blast having you, Dave. To be honest, and I learned so much from you.
Mm.
Looking forward to see what you can do more with the Love AI dApps. Very interesting, to be honest. And yeah, man. No, if you have any final questions, closing, go ahead, bro.
I was just gonna say thanks for rolling with the punches and being like down to just jump in after we were like loosey goosey with the schedule. Thanks for jumping in on Halloween. I don't know if your family's been celebrating. I've had kids at my door like a lot tonight, banging on the door and all that stuff. But yeah, thanks a lot, Dave. It was fun getting to learn from you. If you have any recommendations for which directions we should head, we'd love to do that. And if you like later have any recommendations of who to interview, we'd love to interview really smart people, because we don't want to waste people's time and have somebody on here that's not worth listening to. But you are certainly worth listening to. So thank you, Dave.
Appreciate it. We'll have to do it again.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Be fun.
Guys, by the way, don't forget to follow Dave, please, again, and Love AI Twitter as well. I'm sure later on we will be cutting the entire episode, so we're gonna provide the shorts for each point Dave talked about. We're gonna post it on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter. So for whoever missed this podcast, if you guys join late, it's pre-recorded already in YouTube and X, and Nono will be blasting a lot of the shorts out later. Shout out also to Kutistan for creating the shorts. But guys, thank you so much, Dave, again. No, and guys, Beyond Crypt Share is almost out, I think. Excited to see what's the total pot will be. I don't know, because I was thinking maybe it got lower with the market dip, but we will see how good the trading is.
I guess we'll
Again,
just have
guys,
to
thanks to Ani
handle
for
that.
sponsoring this podcast, and thank you, No, guys.
Yeah.
We will see you again next week.